Hey cruisers, welcome to our last live stream of 2017. How did that happen? Where did the year go? So glad to see all of you here. So many fun things going on in the chat before this got started. Thank you guys so much for coming in early and making my day. Today's episode is sponsored by cruiseline.com, where you can compare prices from loads and loads of different cruise sites with easy to use cruise search. Also wanted to let you guys know I very recently posted the patters from our Caribbean Princess 10-night Panama Canal cruise in the ship chat for Caribbean Princess on Shipmate app, cruiseline.com. You can find them there. Go check those out. They are awesome. We got all 10 nights of the patters, and they are going to include the Thanksgiving Day patter. So I hope you enjoy those. We also included the log of the cruise at the end, so it's really fun. So Mr. CruiseTipsTV, go ahead and roll the chat. Today we are talking about our 2018 cruise goals. I'm talking about mine and I want to hear about yours. So right now, I'd love for all of you to tell us in the live chat what some of your cruise goals are for 2018. Roxanne, who had to step out of the chat, told me that hers is to try a brand new ship. So she was the first person to report on her cruise goals, and I think that's an awesome goal. So we're going to talk all about that. Before we do, I wanted to let all of you know when our next live stream is going to be. We're going to go back to our every other Saturday format. So our next live stream, looking at my calendar here, will be at noon Pacific time on Saturday, January 13th. And our topic is one that has been requested by so many of you. And that topic is solo cruising. So if you have cruised solo and you have some information to share with us on solo activities, dining, choosing a cruise line, choosing a stateroom, pricing. If you're an expert in solo cruising, we really want you to join us for that live stream. We'd like you to share your tips with us that day. And if you'd like to learn about solo cruising, we'd love to have you there. Bring all of your questions and we'll see you there. This is a really cool topic. It's something I've never done personally, but there is so much interest in it that we've decided to dedicate an entire episode to it. So we want to start by telling you a little bit about our cruise goals for 2018. Some of you have seen this notebook that I use throughout the year to keep track of some of my goals. It's not a journal. I don't journal and I don't do New Year's resolutions, but I do like to make little notes on things that kind of pop into my mind and put down my travel ideas in kind of a list form throughout the year. And as I was doing that and reflecting at the end of 2017 and thinking about what we wanted to get out of our year in 2018, there was one word that kept coming up, and that word is new. Now, that doesn't mean we need to go on all new ships or anything like that, but it meant so many different things to me and my husband, and we talked about it, and we decided that we really want new to be the theme of our 2018 cruise portfolio, if we will. Either a new ship, a new itinerary, or even a new time to sail. A new ship to us, perhaps. So it can mean a lot of different things. It could mean that we tried Bliss in October, which we know we're doing, which will be a brand new ship at that time. It will have just finished up its Alaska season and head down to the Mexican Riviera. We're going to jump on that cruise. So that's one of the new things that we're doing. And we are also considering some other options, some of the things that have been interesting to us that we're really interested in exploring sometime, maybe not this year. We'll see how finances go. Would be a Christmas cruise. We've always wanted to do a Christmas cruise, and we talked about it this Christmas, on Christmas Day, as we were sitting by our tree in our pajamas with, all the comforts of home and our tree and our presents. We thought, would we be comfortable on a Christmas cruise? Can we leave this behind? And I think our family is ready to give it a try. I'm a little bit nervous about it because it's more expensive and it's a different experience sailing with loads and loads and loads of children. I'm not sure how that will work. If you pick the right cruise, hopefully there won't be kids running around doing elevator doorbell ditching, all that crazy stuff that can happen on a cruise where there's a really high percentage of kids. Not, of course, we love children. We have one, and he's a good, well-behaved little guy, though. So that's something that comes to mind when I think about Christmas cruising. How will that work for us? I'd love to hear if any of you have had experiences on a Christmas cruise that would perhaps sway me in that direction. So we're considering that. Another thing that we're interested in doing is going on Carnival Splendor. As many of you know, Carnival Splendor has just relocated from the Florida coast. I believe it was from Tampa over to the West Coast and is going to be home porting here in Los Angeles. And we're really excited about that. So maybe we'll jump on Carnival Splendor out of Long Beach. Correction, it's not actually Los Angeles per se. It is the port of Long Beach. We actually have been on Splendor before. It's been many, many years, but they have these really interesting cabins that you've heard me talk about before that are, they're kind of like an aft wrap balcony that are very appealing to me. And they're in our price range. So you might be seeing us jump on Splendor this year. We will see what happens. We are also very interested in doing a Alaska cruise tour, so land and cruise type of a vacation, excuse me. And we are looking at Holland America for a cruise tour to Alaska. So that's something that's on our list. Now, that Alaska tour is very expensive, so that may not happen this year. We need a cool $5,000 just for the cruise itself, and I'm not sure that's gonna happen. You know how we roll. If we can take 3 cruises for that price, we probably would rather do that. But again, we're focusing on new things. So that's something that we're really strongly considering. I'm also itching to do a Panama Canal full transit, but that's probably something we'll do later on because we just did the Panama Canal this past year. So that's something that we'd love to do. I also have always wanted to attend the Sea Trade Global Conference, which is in Florida. So I'm looking into that this year. It's probably going to be difficult to get over to Florida at that time of year in March for me, but it is on my dream list to go to Sea Trade Global and to meet some folks in the industry, to network with industry leaders, and to get more of an education on cruising. It's something I've really always wanted to do. So you guys, those are some of our cruise goals. And of course, we have our bigger dreams, our cruise fantasies, if you will, which you all know is to go to Tahiti for our 20-year anniversary. Well, this next year is our 20-year anniversary, so I'm not sure that's going to happen because we have a cruise already planned on the Norwegian Bliss right around that time, but it's definitely going to stay on the dream list. So I want to pop into the chat and I want to hear all about what some of your cruise dreams are. Let's get in there. I see some people speaking French in the chat. So good to have all of you here. Hello, Scott Singer Cruises. Welcome. Glad you could make it. Always love it when you are here. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Mr. Cruise Tips TV, tell me about some of the cruise goals our friends have.
Ricardo Mendoza is starting 2018 with a cruise on a Carnival Breeze.
All right, Ricardo, bon voyage on Carnival Breeze. That sounds really fun. I love it. If any of you have questions for me today, by the way, I think I forgot to mention, I'd like to answer your questions when we finish talking about our cruise goals. So save those questions and get prepared to ask them again around 12:25 or so, okay? All right. Jen P says her 2018 goal is to cruise at least twice this year and go on another line other than Norwegian and to book one for 2019 early. Jen, those are awesome goals. I love that. Tell us what cruise lines you are considering. All right, Lucia Heath is doing the 15-day Hawaii in 2021 for your 10-year anniversary, waiting for it to come out so you can book it. I love the way you think, Lucia. That is awesome. Okay. Oh, Cruising with Wheels. I'm sorry that you guys are both sick. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. It's that time of year. Terrible flus going around, stomach bugs, all kinds of awful stuff. I hope you both feel better. Sorry to hear that. All right, Kimberly said, my goal is to simply go on any cruise. Taking my first cruise is my dream. Well, Kimberly, you are in the right place. Hang out with us in the meantime, and we will get you educated and excited for your first cruise. Awesome to have you. AZ Girl 66 says, dream list, Australia and New Zealand and Alaska. Those are good ones. Very, very nice. Awesome. Okay. Ooh, Sydney said, cruise goal number 1, Oasis of the Seas. Go Sydney, I like that one. Scott Singer Cruises said, I'd love to head back to Europe. The Mediterranean was incredible. I loved watching your vlog, Scott, on the Mediterranean. Tell me what your favorite port was, or if you had maybe a couple of them, let me know. From the Future said, cruise dream is 14-day Royal Caribbean Harmony, Florida to LA. That is awesome. So are they doing a repositioning type? That's pretty cool. Wouldn't we like it if Harmony came over here? You're gonna have to keep me posted if that one happens. All right, Amanda's cruise goal is to go on NCL Escape. Doug, we are going on Bliss in October 2018 to answer that question. Daryl McRae, cruise goal is to try the MSC Seaside. Oh, it's getting some good press right now. I'm seeing a lot of pictures. Very cool. All right, I know there's a ton of them coming up here. I see Kristen said 2018 goal, cruise out of New York City on Carnival Horizon. I've heard that sail away out of New York City is amazing. You got to do it. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Yes, Joker Speaks. Hal Cruise Tour will share all the details if you don't make it first. Yes, please. I'd love to hear from you on all of those things. Kathy said we should plan for our 25th anniversary, right? I know, it might be that way. There's so many great ones coming in right now. Okay, let's see. Ooh, Steven said a repositioning cruise. That sounds wonderful. Jen's thinking about Royal Caribbean Princess and MSC Seaside. All right. Shannon, yes, we have thought about doing a group cruise. We don't think we're there yet. In order to make it worth our while, we would need a lot of people to book into a group cruise. And it's something that we definitely have talked about quite a bit here on the channel, and I think someday it will happen. But we would need to know that we could get probably 30 or 40 parties of people to go to make it worth our while. So we'll see what happens. It'll be one of these years. Sagusta said a European river cruise is your dream. Ooh, that sounds really good, Sagusta. I'd love to do that too. Scott's top 3 Mediterranean ports were Mykonos, Rhodes, and Kotor. Those are great. I loved your Kotor vlog. That was an awesome one. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. All right, and let's see. Ooh, there's so many. You guys are in the chat moving so quickly that I can hardly keep up with you. So if I miss you, please forgive me. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just not able to keep up with them. Mr. CruiseTipsTV, what you got?
Hazel. Hazel's 2018 cruise goals are Galapagos and Alaska.
Ooh, Hazel, Galapagos would be amazing. Tell me what cruise line you're considering for the Galapagos. I'd love to hear. And Alaska too.
Natalie Duenas would love to cruise Cuba in 2018.
Natalie, you want to get to Cuba. I know you can do it. There's so many lines going to Cuba this year. Check it out and get on it, girlfriend. You can do it. Okay.
Jessica Carey wants to beat her 2017 2-cruise record and make it 3 cruises in 2018.
That's awesome. Jessica, you can do it. You can make it a 3-cruise record. That is so cool. Oh, Amanda's got a back-to-back cruise goal. That's a good one.
Sue Carnes would love to see Tahiti and Panama.
Sue, you will love Panama. You will love Tahiti. I haven't been to Tahiti, but I know you will love it. Those are some of my dreams too. I want to see more of Panama. That cruise that we did, the partial transit, just got me wanting to go ocean to ocean on the canal. It really got me excited about it. I love it. Oh, wow. Amanda, back-to-back cruise. I think I already saw that, but it's wonderful. Minky photo, the Sea of Cortez in April and Alaska in September, both on Princess. Boy, those are some of my favorite itineraries. You are going to love the Sea of Cortez. I'm sure you've already seen our vlogs, but really in Laredo, if you are a boat person, consider doing the tour that we did in Laredo. You can find the vlogs in a playlist for Star Princess. That was a day that I will never forget. Having the dolphins swim alongside our boat, even the tacos that they made for us for lunch were so exceptional. It was just really special. All right.
Susan Dykman says her cruise goal is to get her sons, age 22 and 19, hooked on cruising by taking them to the Caribbean in March.
I love it. Susan, you want to get your sons hooked. I love it. They're going to be cruise addicts too. It's going to happen. I feel it. I feel it. Amanda, ooh, back-to-back in Australia. That sounds good. Philip DeVol said, what happened to Mr. CruiseTipsTV's mic? It doesn't exist. He doesn't have a mic. He's working on it, but it creates problems for our live stream. So it is a very delicate balance. He has been working on it week by week, and if we can get it fine-tuned, we'll use it, but he's not going to use it until it makes sense because we don't want to mess everything else up. Right, Mr. CruiseTipsTV?
Nobody wants to hear me.
Nobody wants to hear you? He said nobody wants to hear me. Honey, they do. They do. They want to hear you.
Goals.
Okay, more goals. Ready, go.
Dan Ashcraft wants to lose 60 pounds before his cruise in July.
Dan wants to lose 60 pounds before his cruise in July. And Dan, one of the things on my list to talk about today was prepping for a cruise in that way. You know, how do we think about getting healthy before a cruise? And I really applaud you. That's a huge goal. I have confidence in you. I know you can do it. It ain't easy though. I feel like it's always a battle for me. I know, and sometimes I make a good solid effort to slim down before a cruise. I was having a chat with somebody on Facebook last night about this actually, about the techniques that we use to slim down before cruises and things like that. And there's no magic bullet, right? It's all hard work. It's all hard work and good choices. But I will tell you guys what I do when I set my mind to the slim down thing. If I really want to shave off the 5 or 10 pounds, I have a strategy. And my strategy is, number one, to knock out alcohol for about a month, completely cut off the cocktails, because your body metabolizes most of those things as sugar and it gets stored as fat. So for me, that's one of the quickest ways to kind of clean up my act. And I also find that once I have done that, once I go back to it, it takes like half a glass of wine and I'm feeling it, which is probably a good thing, right? You don't want to have your, what do you call that? Your tolerance. You don't want your tolerance to be set too high. So that's something that I like to do. And then of course, obviously, lots of veggies, lower the carbs, lots of movement, not sitting around. I found that having an Apple Watch is one of the greatest things for my health, because it keeps me accountable to move and also to stand. So it has, how many hours a day you stand instead of sitting in. I've invested in a standing desk at work, and it's made a really big difference to me in I've noticed in my abdominal strength, standing for the great majority. Also, as you guys know, you probably see me wiggling a lot here in our set. I actually am a very wiggly person. I hate sitting down. My gravestone will say something like, "She couldn't sit still." I can't stand it. So having a standing desk has changed my life. It hasn't made me skinnier at all. I wish I could say that it has, but it has made me feel better. It's given me more energy, and now I don't wiggle because I'm not sitting down. So I applaud you for making that goal, setting that goal, and I'd love to hear a little bit more. Dan, you've already lost 60 and you have 60 to go. You are my hero. Keep us posted. I really want to hear more about that as you go. All right, I'm ready for the next one.
Okay, Sean Arnold would like to go to Aruba.
Sean, you want to go to Aruba? I want to go to Aruba too, Sean. Let's plan it together. Let's have this on our list of things to do. I've always wanted to go to Aruba. Sounds wonderful. It looks like such a beautiful island. So many beaches, so much beautiful stark landscape. It looks fantastic.
Okay, Natalie Duenas has a very important goal.
Okay, Natalie has an important goal. I'm ready, Natalie.
And that is to get a shout out for her daughter Alyssa on CruiseTipsTV, because it's her 10th birthday.
Natalie, it's Alyssa's birthday. All right, let's sing to Alyssa. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alyssa, from the CruiseTipsTV crew. Yay! That was fun. Happy birthday, sweet Alyssa. Thank you, Natalie. That's really precious. I'm so glad that you told us about that.
Sydney Forrester's cruise goal number 2 is 10-year anniversary Alaskan cruise with his wife and son.
Oh, I love that. Sydney, I can't imagine a lot of good places to go actually for an anniversary cruise. But that is so sweet and romantic, and I think you guys will love it. I think Alaska is really well built for family cruising. The togetherness and the experience that you'll have viewing wildlife and just all of the natural beauty is really special. So I love that one. All right, Vegas Strong. Sue, I like this one, Sue. She said another cruise goal would be to have all of their excursions paid for before the trip. Sue, I like the way you think. I'm all about being financially responsible, and I think that's a beautiful goal. Thank you for sharing that. That's really unique and awesome. All right, Stephanie's goal is to lose some pounds before the next cruise. Thinking of the breeze, got a sit-stand desk at work. Yeah, it is a really good strategy to help, and for your overall health too, Stephanie. Weight loss aside, standing up more during the day, unless you work in a job where you're standing all day, then you probably think I'm crazy and think, oh my gosh, all I want to do is rest and sit, right? But, okay. Let's see here. Wow, Nurse Nancy, that's a creative one as well. Nancy said her challenge on a cruise is slowing down. There's so much to do. Yes, Nurse Nancy, same with us. We rarely ever slow down. And I will say that one of the things we really enjoyed about the Panama Canal was that canal viewing day forced us to slow down. It forced us to surrender to the process of those locks slowly opening. It takes like 5 minutes for one lock to kind of slowly slide back into its housing, and it's a trip. It's a really interesting and beautiful experience. I noticed when we took time-lapse photos of that what I really enjoy watching is the clouds. I loved watching how much the clouds moved while everything else was so slow. So you were, kind of capturing this contrast of the clouds just flying around and doing all these crazy formations, and then the canal just being this slow, beautiful process. I like that. That's good. Okay. All right, Julianne, yes, we talked about my goals earlier. Our goal kind of boils down to one word, and our theme of the year is new. And what new means to us is not necessarily new ships, but new times of year to cruise. New cruise ships, of course, which we're going to be experiencing on Norwegian Bliss, and just overall new experiences. So you'll see, hopefully, that coming to life this year. What am I missing? Mr. Cruise Tips TV.
ARM reached his goal already, and announced to plan his 35th anniversary cruise.
Wow, 35th anniversary. What did you book, ARM? Your 35th anniversary cruise. Good job.
Getaway to Scandinavia and the Baltic.
Oh, how beautiful. That is so cool. Scandinavia and the Baltic. Billy Sanders says, my cruise goal is to go on a cruise that travels from Florida around South America to Los Angeles. That sounds great. Around the Cape, right? Do it. That sounds fantastic. Okay, Kelly Tarpasso said, going on an oasis of the seas with 3 toddlers, husband and mom. Any tips for airport and boarding ship? Kelly, we could talk about that for hours, but take advantage of the fact that when you are at the airport that they will allow you to board early if you have small children. So I would definitely take advantage of that. I would limit the amount of carry-on luggage that you have because it will be difficult for you to manage with the children. So really think about your essentials and watch our Cruising with Kids video that we made earlier this year. Cruising with Wheels makes dream boards to help them visualize their goals. Keeps you on track and your eye on the prize. I love that idea. I like to do that at work with my team too. We make dream boards out of like magazine clippings and things. I think it's a really great way to do it. Let me know what kind of supplies that you use for that. That is a very, very good one. Yes. All right, let's see. Carol said, half of our group in March will be first-time cruisers. Any tips for them? You know what, Carol, what we always say when you're sailing with a group is we think it's a really good idea to have a pre-cruise planning party. And if you're not all in the same city, you can just get onto Skype or do like a conference call and talk to them about the expectations. So talk to them about dress code, what to pack, and the essentials. And also tell them that no cruise is perfect. I think it's important to manage people's expectations. LET, you're taking your first cruise on July on Celebrity Summit to Bermuda. Any tips for a first-time cruiser? Yeah, kind of what I was just saying to Carol is I think go into it knowing that there's a lot of things that can change when you're on a cruise. You're on a moving vessel that is on the ocean, that is subject to weather and change, and you just need to be really flexible. But what we really like to say to people who are first-time cruisers is do your homework, but don't over-prepare as well. I think over-preparing can kind of wear you out, and don't over-plan. Give yourself a little bit of room to do things spontaneously once you're on that ship. We have millions of tips on this channel for you. Keep watching our videos. There's lots more to see, but those are some of my favorites, okay? All right. Wow, there's so many different things coming in here. Becky said, our goal is to plan a family cruise. None of our kids, daughter-in-laws, or grandkids who have been on a cruise. It will be fun watching their excitement. Yeah, Becky, those are really special. I think that that can be a real highlight. I hope that you do it and let us know when you do. Aha, Logan says, a Mediterranean cruise is on my bucket list. I want to eat my way through Italy. Heck yes, Logan, I love that. That sounds amazing. All right. Anna Girls Place said, hi, my family is going on the Carnival Splendor the 17th through the 24th. You'll have 2 days in Cabo and 1 day in Vallarta. Any recommendations for affordable fun there? Did you use American dollars? Oh, you lucky dog. Do you know, isn't that the cruise that Carly Rae Jepsen is playing a concert on for free? You don't have to pay? How fun is that? Sorry, I'm totally sidetracking. But yes, we have some great vlogs from those trips. I can tell you in Cabo, we like to take a water taxi to Medano Beach, and I don't know how old your kids are, if you have children, but we went ziplining in Puerto Vallarta, and that was an experience of a lifetime. So go search our Carnival Miracle vlogs from Mexico, and there's a lot of activities there. The ziplining is actually surprisingly affordable, and the water taxis are extremely affordable, maybe $10, $20 per person round trip, and yes, we used American dollars. Okay. Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm having a hard time keeping up. All right, Cruising with Wheels answering my question about the dream board. To make their dream board, they use old magazines, brochures, pictures from the web, and most of the time cardboard from the previous year's desk calendar. That's great, I love it. You're not even spending any money on it. Okay, the Recon 1A says Cruise Goal 2018. Carnival Vista, since they repositioned it to Galveston. You know what? The Recon 1A, you have made me realize I forgot to tell you one of my cruise goals. And one of my cruise goals and one of the new things I want to try is a cruise out of Galveston. There are some great ships over there. Hello, Liberty of the Seas. I want to go on that water slide. I was listening to Matt at Royal Caribbean Blogs live, his podcast last week, and he was telling me about that family raft slide, where it's like, you know, it's not like a toilet bowl, but it kind of has that bowl thing where you go up the edge and then you go back down. I am itching to go back on Liberty of the Seas since it was renovated out of Galveston. So you guys may see us out of Galveston. And even though I hate to fly, cruising from California to Galveston is a little easier than going to Florida because it's so much shorter and it's cheaper. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Let's see what we have. Tiffany South, we are homeschooling family. When is the best time to cruise to the Caribbean? Tiffany, it would be definitely something to take advantage of since you're a homeschool family, which is wonderful. I would recommend that you cruise to the Caribbean when school is in session and you can avoid the crowds unless your kids are itching for some more interaction. So some of the best times to go to the Caribbean would be the first few weeks of December. Those are some of the cheapest times to go. Early November is good too. Slight risk of hurricane season there, but not so much. But we really love early December for cruising to the Caribbean price-wise. So I think you will find that that's probably pretty solid as well. Cheryl, you heard good and bad about Mexican Riviera. Is the Riviera safe for 7-year-olds? Cheryl, in my opinion, it is. We've taken our child to the Mexican Riviera probably 15 times since he was born, starting with his first cruise there when he was 1. I've never felt unsafe. In those areas of Mexico, I repeat, those areas, I feel very comfortable and very safe, and I have never had an incident knock on my teacup, okay? Stay in the touristy areas, book excursions with well-reputed providers that you have found from a site that is, you know, reliable. Be careful, be cautious, keep an eye on your child. Don't wear blingy jewelry, put your cash away. Be a smart traveler. But otherwise, we really do. I mean, sometimes I feel safer there than I do going to LA, you know, I mean, truly. There's, of course, a lot of scary stories in the news, but you have to use your best judgment. I would also avoid, you know, when you're eating out, I would be worried more about health concerns sometimes in Mexico. Be careful about drinking the ice. Having ice in a drink, for example, at a place that you know is not a hotel or that doesn't use purified water. Always ask about purified water in places like that. And buy travel insurance in case something happens. I'm ready.
And watch out for aggressive
mariachis. Yes. Some of our last cruise, the mariachis came over and played like these great songs, but they were a little too strong-army about it. Like, maybe we don't want to give you money right now to play us a beautiful mariachi song. And they weren't taking the hint, and we were like, okay, we're getting nervous here. You need to back off. But that's probably your biggest concern. Okay. What else you got, Mr. Cruise Tips TV?
Adam Smith wants to know if we use any particular credit cards to book our cruises to maximize rewards and travel.
Adam wants to know if we use any particular credit cards. I'm kind of boring with my credit card game, Adam. I don't use anything majorly special. I use a Capital One credit card, which gives me travel. You know, you basically get like points on it that you get to get as, you will then get credit towards anything travel related. So even if it's a hotel or you know, a car rental, for example, anything at all that's travel related, you can redeem the points on. So I don't use a special credit card. I just have one credit card in my life, except for my Costco credit card and that one, and that's pretty much all we ever use. So, but it works. It's not bad. Okay. Becky, yeah, I'm really interested in trying that out. Okay, Carol Vosberg said, any tips on Jamaica and Grand Cayman, cruising there in December 28? Where are you going in Jamaica, Carol? If you're going to Ocho Rios, the waterfall is always very popular if you're able-bodied to hike the falls. That's a good one. In Grand Cayman, we recommend just making sure you get out of the port. Make sure that you do something in Grand Cayman. Don't just walk around. In Jamaica, too. It's not a good idea just to get out and walk around. You need to plan something, whether that be renting a car or a Jeep or doing an excursion. We love beach clubs in Cozumel. We really like Nachi Cacombe. It's our favorite, and I think that you'll enjoy it as well. All right, you guys, we have about 15 more minutes. I am going to try to see what questions we have here. Okay, Fifi H, going on Regal Princess for Easter break, and the goal is to go carry-on only for all of you. Can your family of 3 do it? Usually, yes, you can absolutely do it. Fifi, if I can do it, you can do it. Watch my videos on that are very recent on how we did it. If you are going on Regal Princess, you can do laundry on board that ship. That will save you. But yeah, it can absolutely be done. All right. Nurse Nancy said, question, can we use a Carnival gift card to pay our bill at the end of the cruise? Ooh, I think you can. I think you probably could. Yeah, I don't see why not, because those are basically like cash. So I think you would just walk up to the guest services desk. If anybody's ever done that before, please confirm for Nurse Nancy if that is a possibility here in the live chat. Okay. Jessica Carey said, thinking of going to Bermuda on NCL Dawn, only one port in 2 days. Any ideas? Never overnight in a port before. Yeah, Jessica, take advantage of it. That's amazing. Have dinner in the port. Don't worry about rushing back to the ship. It sounds fantastic. I think you should do it. Okay. Billy said, do you always go to the Mexican Riviera on Carnival, or have you done Princess? We've done Princess probably 5 or 6 times to the Mexican Riviera, and it's fantastic. It's great. I will tell you that Carnival has better port stay times, though. You'll probably have noticed that when we went on Carnival Miracle, they stayed in port longer, whereas Princess always bugs out of Cabo too early for me. It really gets under my skin anytime a cruise line only stays somewhere from like 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. because in a tender port, when that happens, you barely get any time on shore. So that really bothers me. That might be something for you to consider, is look at those port times. Okay, always be booked. Cruises and Vacations says, any advice on what to do in St. Kitts? Hey, Tommy, I was looking at an Instagram page the other day where some of the crew on our most recent ship, which is the Caribbean Princess, went to this beach club, and it was really beautiful. Let me check and see if I can find it for you really quickly. Let's see here, St. Kitts, St. Kitts, St. Kitts. If I can't find it quickly, I'll private message you, but it looked so incredibly beautiful to me when I saw it, and I think you would totally enjoy that beach club. Where is it? Yeah, let me PM you a little bit later with it, but I think it'd be fun. It might have been a Marriott in St. Kitts, but I've also heard that it's one of those islands that you need to see. So you might want to do what you do in St. Thomas, where you always get the cab and have them take you all over and do like a private tour. I've heard that for St. Kitts, it might be better to do that the first time, and then when you go back, to settle into like a resort for a day type of a thing. But I'll check it out for you. Thanks for asking. That's fun. You get to visit a new port on your next cruise. Isn't that the only port you said you've never been to on your last podcast? I thought I heard that. Super cool. Okay. Zoe Dog, I've never been on Carnival Magic. I'm sorry. I wish I could say that I had. Haley Miller said, going on a birthday cruise on Carnival Imagination, anything special to do? Oh my goodness, Haley, there's dozens of things you could do. You could get a massage. That would be really special. You could have a cake delivered to you in the dining room, which will happen anyway. If you tell them it's your birthday, they're going to sing to you in that dining room. You could have champagne and strawberries waiting in the room when you get there. There's just a ton of different things you could do. You could plan something special in one of the ports. Lots and lots of things. I'm ready.
Haley is going to Catalina in
Oh.
January, so if
Oh.
you have any tips for...
Oh, Haley, you're going to Catalina in January. You know what we like to do in Catalina or recommend for first timers is to rent a golf cart. When you get off the ship, it'll be really obvious to you how to do that. You kind of walk around down the main drag and then you just rent one right there. They even have the ability to put kids on it in like a car seat. So it's a lot of fun. I would recommend that. We rented a boat last time we were in Catalina, and that was a blast. So if you watch our Carnival Imagination vlogs, I'm sorry, you guys, I feel like there's a lot of shameless plugs for our vlogs today, but a lot of what we're talking about with Mexico cruises, you can see what we actually did. So I want to make sure I'm giving you good information to go soak those up. But watch our Carnival Imagination playlist. You'll really enjoy it, and you'll get a lot of information. I'm so sorry. Okay, Mr. Cruise Tips TV.
Stephanie Smeltzer, her goal is to book another cruise for 2019, and she wants to know if she can get a better deal doing it on board. Her cruise is in February.
What cruise again?
Oh,
She didn't say what line. Stephanie, sometimes you can get a better deal on board. Definitely visit the Future Cruise Desk, whichever line you're sailing, and weigh the pros and cons. You know, I feel like with Princess and Norwegian, the benefits, if you know you're going to go back and cruise that line, the benefits are there. You get some onboard credit and a reduced deposit. Okay. Carol, you're asking about Montego Bay. What about the bobsled and zip line? Is it spendy? I've heard it's a lot of fun. I don't know how much it costs, but I've heard it's very much worth it. So, I think you should book it. Go for it. Richard, congratulations on booking that repositioning cruise. That sounds fantastic. Okay, Sean said, I have a question. I'm going to the Caribbean and I'd like to know, can I use the pound sterling England coin or do I need to change dollars? Sean, I think you're probably going to want to change to dollars. I haven't heard about people having issues with traveling with other currencies, but I think it might be a bit more comfortable for you depending on what ports you are visiting. So I would change into some dollars. I think that would probably be a good idea. Nurse Nancy said those vlogs of your rental boat day was amazing. And Nurse Nancy, what we don't show in that video is how I almost killed my husband at the end of it by ramming into another boat. But that we did not capture on camera, thank God, because it would have been dangerous for us to have been filming, but that's a crazy story. Oh my goodness sakes. Thank you, Cruising with Wheels. I knew what you meant. You're very sweet. Mr. Cruise Tips TV, do you have any questions packing up for me? Okay, you guys, so we're on for about 5 or 10 more minutes. Please let me know what I've missed. I do see the Gucci Gatsby's question coming in right now, and I will answer that. It says, hi, going on the Carnival Sunshine in June for an 8-day cruise to Grand Turk, Aruba, and Curacao, but 4 sea days, what to do on board? Well, I can tell you you're going to want to rest because you have a lot of good ports. So don't worry too much about it. Don't worry about planning a whole lot. Carnival is truly fun. There's going to be activities at every turn. There's going to be music by the pool, activities by the pool. Maybe you can get the drink package, just live it up for a few days while you're at sea, if you like to drink, that is. But I would just not worry too much about it because you're going to need the rest after going to Grand Turk, Aruba, and Curacao. I'm not sure how those sea days stack up, if they're all at the beginning and the end. I know how that can be sometimes when it takes a long time to get down to that southern area, but there will be plenty to keep you occupied. You could always plan for a spa day on board if you wanted to spend the money. Maybe your first day you could spend exploring the ship, enjoy the pools, the hot tubs, all that good stuff. Okay. Love it. John, we should do a collection of bloopers. We've talked about that before. I know, it would be so funny. Hazel, any cruises to the Caribbean that go out of San Francisco? There may be a repositioning every so often that goes out of San Francisco through the Panama Canal, but I don't know of anybody. If anybody knows of any cruises that stop in the Caribbean that go out of San Francisco, let's let Hazel know. I think you would be obviously you'd be going via the Panama Canal and you might hit just a couple of ports. But the problem with those is that sometimes they hit more of the Mexican Riviera ports than they spend time over in the Caribbean. Okay. Let's see, Vegas Strong, formerly Suji, said, are there much excursions to do in New England and Canada for next September? Does anybody know? Oh yeah, there's a ton to do in Canada, New England ports. And the beautiful thing about them is that sometimes you don't have to book an excursion. Sometimes you could just walk around, but there's so many things to do. When in doubt, get a private car for the day or rent share a tour with someone else and get your own van or small bus or taxi cab for the day and just go out exploring. I think that would probably be great. Okay. Looking for those last minute questions coming in.
M. Smith wants to know if we'll ever get tired of Alaska and Mexico, because we seem to go there a lot.
M. Smith, no, we will never get tired of Alaska and Mexico. We do go there a lot because we live on the West Coast. I will say I want to try to take a break from going to the Mexican Riviera multiple times a year. That I will say. We are definitely going back there on Norwegian Bliss in October, but I'm not seeing, I don't want to go 4 times to the Mexican Riviera this year. I think we don't get tired of it so much because it's so convenient for us, but I do crave new things, if that makes sense. Good question. Okay. Carrie Bradley said, can you carry liquids in your luggage? Onto the ship, yes, you can. Onto the airplane, you'd have to follow the TSA rules. So the answer is, if you're asking if you can take them on the ship, absolutely, yes, you can. Just be careful about drinks and alcohol and things like that that are permitted. Make sure to check your prohibited items list on your particular cruise line because they all vary. Okay. Garakachu Draws said, my family and I mostly stayed in our stateroom because there wasn't a lot of things to do for kids back then. What do you think we missed? Maybe I missed an earlier post for you. If it's been a long time since you cruised, there's so much for kids to do now. If they're participating in the children's programs, the kids' clubs, they're going to have friends to hang out with, and you're probably not going to see them for the rest of the cruise. There's so much to do. So it really depends. Okay. Jasmine said, if we're able to get the same table, will we only receive 1 bottle of wine? Are you talking about the free bottle of wine at the steakhouse? Is that what you're talking about, Jasmine? If so, yes, it's probably per party, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's see. Holly Ayer said, what is afternoon tea on Carnival like? On the ships that we've experienced it's been just okay. It's not really Carnival's strong point from my experience, but it's okay. I would still go. One time I went to tea on Carnival recently. They held it in a lounge and it didn't have proper tables, like you were eating it on small little tables. But then again, on Carnival Miracle, we had a nice proper tea in the dining room and it was good. A little rushed, but good. Okay. Amanda, I think you've asked this a few times. What cruise line goes from Florida to LA and how long is it? So Amanda, most of the major cruise lines reposition through the Panama Canal for 14 to 15 day sailings from Florida to Los Angeles and the reverse. So you can find itineraries that are approximately 2 weeks, and you'll find most of the major lines doing that. Princess, Holland America, Norwegian, maybe Royal Caribbean, and Disney all go through the Panama Canal. Yeah, Shailene and Kurt vlogs. Hi guys, glad you made it. You never get tired of Cabo Vallarta and Mazatlan. Oh, but Vallarta and Mazatlan aren't as exciting. I get it. I like Cabo a lot too. I think it's beautiful. Little Starboard wants to know, has anyone ever done a trans-Pacific cruise from the U.S. mainland to Hawaii? Okay. Let's see here. Aaron wants to know, is there an easy way to search for repositioning cruises? Ooh, that's a tough one. Some of the cruise search sites, when you pull down departure port or when you pull down cruise type, they will have the option to choose repositioning. But what you might want to do is just Google repositioning cruise 2018 or 2019 and see what you come up with. Let's see here. Okay. Molly, how many cruises have you done in a year? The most we've ever done in 1 year is 4, but normally we average about 2 to 3. Yeah. Okay. I'm ready, Mr. CruiseTipsTV. What's coming in?
This is a while ago from Patty Ray. They just raised the gratuity fee on Allure of the Seas. And she wants to know if you have to pay the gratuities or can you pay each person that waits on you in cash? Oh,
right. Okay, so Patty, the gratuity thing is a very difficult topic. You could remove the gratuities. What ship is this again? What line? Royal Caribbean?
Yeah.
Some people do remove the gratuities and pay people in cash. The problem is that when that happens, there are people behind the scenes that normally get those gratuities that you may not be getting those tips to. I don't do it that way. I leave the tips on auto gratuity. I don't really know the full details of who is getting those tips, but supposedly it's your stateroom steward and your dining staff. And some of the people behind the scenes who are counting on those gratuities as well. My strategy is to tip the normal way. So leave the gratuities on, and then I add a little bit more at the end in cash to people who have helped me out. So an extra 10 or 20, sometimes even in the beginning. Sometimes I like to get my stateroom steward on my good side on day one, and I'll give him a $20 bill with a note on it saying, hey, can we have some extra towels and some ice every day? And ask, a little favor and try to get them in my good graces. Okay. I am looking for the last few questions coming in, and then we're going to sign off in about 2 minutes. Megan Monroe, yes, we've been to the Caribbean. It's beautiful. We love it. We just hit Grand Cayman and Princess Keys on our Panama Canal cruise, and man, was it great to be back in the Caribbean. So beautiful. We loved it. And all of you who are saying thank you for the tips, you're very welcome. Thank you all. Thank you so much for making this year so special for us. We are going to get ready to sign out. Dre, my cup is probably about a 16 ouncer, maybe a 21 ouncer. That's a funny question, but there you go. But we really appreciate all of you. Our next live stream is January 13th. We're talking about solo cruising. We will see you here. It looks like, Jasmine, you wanted me to answer that question about the steakhouse. Let me get in there with you. Let's see. My friends and I booked the steakhouse on Miracle on the first night, but we booked separately during the same time. Will you be able to be seated next to each other or at the same table? Yeah, they'll probably let you sit next to each other. What you can do is go up to the steakhouse during the day on Miracle, and if there's a staff member there, you can speak with them and let them know about your situation and ask them to put you together. That's probably something you can do on day one. Usually we find that there's some kind of staff hanging out at Nick and Nora's steakhouse, so you should be just fine. Okay, let's see here. Anissa said, what are some fun things to do on the Bahamas without doing any shore excursions? You could take a cab to the beach, or you could take a cab to Atlantis, or you could just walk to Junkanoo Beach if you're going to be in Nassau. Okay. All right, you guys. Happy almost New Year to you. Yes. Did you have a last minute one, Mr. CruiseTipsTV? I don't know.
Claire, did you catch that one?
Aaron, did you have a question? Did I miss it? Oh, okay, I know what the airlines recommend, but real talk here. How early do folks come to the airport for a domestic flight? I've never been, Aaron, for a domestic flight, I usually get to the airport about 90 minutes early, and for international, 2 hours or more. A true story. I mean, we're paranoid, so we're always a minimum of an hour and a half, and that's actually pushing it for me. I'm probably more like 2 hours even on domestic. Okay. All right, thanks you guys, and thanks for all the fun chat about the group cruise. I'm kind of seeing it out the corner of my eye here, and I know it's something you guys would love to do. It's definitely on our list of things to consider in the future, so please know that. Thank you guys so much for everything in 2017. We love you all. We appreciate you. You make our lives so, so bright. We'll see you for our next live stream on January 13th. Until next time, we'll see you on the high seas. Bye.
Cruiser of the week.
Hey, click me to subscribe.